Thanks again for joining us, Bridge Nation, by tuning into the Bridge 99 FM and our live stream, www.thebridge99fm.com. Coming to you live from the capital city, Kingston, Jamaica. I'll be with you until the top of the hour at midday. This is my last program. So let's talk about a lot of things. It's Alumni Rollout Day. So we have several things that we're going to be doing this morning as a part of Alumni Rollout Day. We're going to be talking, first of all, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They call it Pinktober. And we'll be talking with Fundraising and Public Relations Officer at the Jamaica Cancer Society, Shullian Brown, about upcoming activities for our people, women and men, because men get breast cancer too, people. Trust me, they have breasts. And the work of the Jamaica Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer. And then as we focus on education, it's Alumni Rollout Day, we are going to feature Montego-Bay math-based whiz and educator Richard James about his passion for mathematics and the books that he has written and how he's helping out students locally and internationally to overcome their fears and challenges with math. So, of course, Alumni Rollout Day will be focusing on education and focusing on other things because we continue that focus as we go through the day, 8 minutes after 10 here on the Bridge 99 FM. Now, I think on my first program when I came here, I did read my Psalms, right? So it is only fitting that on my last program I'm going to read my Psalm, and I'm going to read my usual Psalm before we go off to the break and, of course, play a song. I think I'm doing a cartel today, but let me do the Psalm, no? So we do Psalm and then we do cartel. Sounds appropriate. The Lord is my shepherd. Psalm 23 is my favorite Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's my favorite Psalm, Psalm 23, a very good Psalm, excellent Psalm, and of course, a Psalm of thanksgiving and many things all in the same breath. And so it's 9 minutes after 10, I think, so we should go to the break. Remember, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more. I think I should be giving away a copy of Chicken McGravy. I have it in my bag somewhere. That's my little motivational self-published book, autobiographical. But let's go to the cartel. When we come back, we talk with you some more, and then we go and have our discussion about Pinktober, coming, of course, out of the Jamaica Cancer Society's own focus on October as breast cancer. I think it's Awareness Month, right? So stay with us. I'm going to have a cartel, and then we continue doing business here on Bridge 99 FM, One Jamaica, and the People's Professor. Stay with us. Welcome back. One Jamaica, Bridge 99 FM. It's 20 minutes after 10 here in Kingston, Jamaica, and we are going into our first interview for the morning. Remember, it's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Many other things are being celebrated this month. I think we also have National Tree Planting Day being observed today, so I'll talk about that after the interview. But of course, many things are being celebrated this month, but we focus a lot on breast cancer awareness this month. Remember that breast cancer affects not just women, but also men. Men have breast tissue as well. I'm hearing some conversation going on behind the scene there. But of course, we're getting Shullian Brown, who is the Fundraising and Public Relations Officer at the Jamaica Cancer Society. And she's joining us, and I'm hearing her in my ears. So we are going to have her come to us, talk with us through the Zoom. Is she talking with us via Zoom? Is Zoom okay? So she's in the Zoom. She's a Fundraising and Public Relations Officer at the Jamaica Cancer Society, and she's gonna talk with us a little bit about some of the activities that are scheduled for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the Jamaica Cancer Society in this regard. So we're talking with her on the phone line. So we have her, Shullian Brown. Ms. Brown, are you with us?
Good morning. Thank you so much. Good morning to your listeners. Thank you for having me.
There's a lot happening this month for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We are told that there was a childhood cancer mini symposium held virtually yesterday. Can you tell us a little bit about that before we go into the discussion?
The symposium was held with certain key experts out of Canada to raise the awareness about childhood cancer and to provide information to parents as well as the medical practitioners as to what the signs and symptoms of childhood cancer are.
Mm-hmm.
The unfortunate incident is that many of the symptoms of childhood cancer mimic other type of childhood diseases.
Yes.
And, of course, there are children who are naturally born that are more susceptible to having fevers, etc. Persons who see the child are allergic to certain types of food and they might be vomiting, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily realizing that there's also an underlying occurrence going on there, not just an allergic reaction.
Yes.
So these are the various different types of pointers that were given parents yesterday, as well as medical practitioners, pediatricians, on how to identify childhood cancer diseases.
Okay. And so we are at the beginning of October. Today is the first day of October, and it has been dubbed Pinktober in some spheres as we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Talk to us about some of the activities that the Jamaica Cancer Society has lined up for this month.
Certainly. So for us, October is very important. It raises the awareness of breast cancer among our Jamaican women.
Mm-hmm.
Breast cancer remains the number one cancer among Jamaican women. I've been at the Cancer Society for a number of years, and breast cancer continuously over the years has remained the number one cause of cancer and has remained the number one cause of cancer-related deaths among our Jamaican women.
Mm-hmm.
A simple reason for that is, one, our women are not screening. And unfortunately, when they do present at the hospitals or the doctors, tends to be late-stage diagnosis of the disease.
Yes.
And as a result of that, we are seeing far more cases of a disease that is completely preventable if it is detected early.
Mm-hmm. And you went really into the question that I wanted to ask you in terms of early detection. How do women screen early? Women, and I think we also should have to bring men into the conversation, because I find that breast cancer awareness, men also I know get breast cancer, even though women seem to be more susceptible. But how do you screen, and what does that entail? What are women supposed to do, and when in their life cycle should they begin doing that?
Certainly. So we said to our women, to young girls, because we do have girls who are teenagers who unfortunately have been diagnosed with breast cancer. We do have women in their 20s, mid to late 20s as well, who also get diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yes.
We're talking about a level of breast awareness now. We want women to be aware of their own breasts. A lot of women, you'd be surprised. They don't touch their breasts, They don't have any idea what the breasts feel like. That is so true, because in the essence, we find that a lot of partners are the ones who will discover the lump and say to the ladies, I feel a lump here. And then at that time is when the woman is touching herself and realizing that, yes, there is something.
But Shullian, and I have to cut you there. You use the word touching herself, and the challenge with that is that the breast becomes sexualized.
Exactly.
Once they pop out of your chest as a young girl, suddenly it becomes sexualized, and it is attached to sex and the sex act in the main instance. And so you feel women are taught in this culture to feel that they are touching themselves when they begin to fondle their breast. So therefore, they shy away from any kind of activity involved in their breast, except when it comes to the point of pregnancy and lactation, you see.
I do agree with that,
Yes.
but we want women to understand it. Just like any other part on your body, you need to become familiar with those breasts. And it's simply we say, and that's one of the reasons why we say when persons are doing breast self-examinations, we invite them to do so in the shower, because we should hope at that time, at least, you're holding your breasts. So we are hoping that our women will take home this message of breast awareness. You need to know how your breasts look.
Yes.
You need to know if there's any dimpling or wrinkling of the skin of the breast.
What does that mean? You said dimpling. What does dimpling
mean? For example, there are sometimes when you would look at the breast and you see it doesn't look as smooth as it has done several months ago. It begins to look like the skin of an orange with those dimplings. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Indication of something going on. There might be a spot on the breast that is suddenly appearing, and it is rough, coarse to the touch. That is something that you need to look out for. We say to women, squeeze the nipple. The only thing that should be coming out of the nipple is milk or a clear liquid. If there is blood or pus coming out of the nipple, then something is definitely wrong. You're not going to know this if you don't touch your breast. Secondly, if your nipple is pointing in various different directions instead of straight ahead in front of you, something is amiss. So these are the things. If the shape of it has suddenly changed, normally we do have one bigger than the other. One is extremely large now. That wasn't similar a few months ago. Have that examined. So we're saying, one, breast cancer remains the number one cancer among our women. is the leading cause of cancer-related deaths among our women. And 2020 data shows us that 1,208 Jamaican women were diagnosed with breast cancer. Unfortunately, of that number, 637 women lost their lives. So all we're asking persons to do is to practice a screening regimen.
And so, but you know, Shullian Brown, and I think that there's been a great deal of public education around breast cancer in Jamaica and across the world. But here in Jamaica, the Jamaica Cancer Society and other entities do a great deal of work making people aware of it. I think I saw somewhere where Jamaica National is offering 100 free mammograms this month, as a part of their breast cancer awareness thrust as well. Because one of the things that I know many women, and especially working class women, face is the cost to do a mammogram can be a challenge. That is one of the reasons why many women do not do it. They also hear the stories that it is extremely painful. No, but I'm telling you, that's what they say on the ground. Yes. So many women can't afford to do a breast cancer test. They can do the BSE, the breast self-examination, but the cost of a mammogram is sometimes something that, women can't. Is there some way that mammograms can be had cheaper than, say, when you go to your regular, doctor, gynecologist, person who takes care of you, well woman? Is there some way that it can be offered for cheaper to women who need to do the mammograms?
Well, can I say something? Yes. The cost of a mammogram here at the Jamaica Cancer Society is $5,000. And mammograms across Jamaica are relatively inexpensive, or we could say manageable, because what happens is that the cost of a screening mammogram is far less expensive than if the woman was to actually have breast cancer and start that whole process of treatment. Now we're looking into millions of dollars there. So that is one of the things that people are to bear in mind. Yes. And it's an annual mammogram, right? So it's not something that you do 4 or 5 times for the year. So it's something that you can probably set aside some funds towards. We have been fortunate throughout the year as a cancer society to have the support of corporate entities, and you just mentioned Jane Bank donating mammograms to women,
yes,
as well as the National Health Fund. We've had several organizations, Cygnus Global, quite a few organizations over the years have donated, and we have in turn donated those mammograms to women who are in need. But we don't want women to wait until October and the opportunity for a free mammogram to present itself. The Cancer Society is present right throughout the year, and we're here ready and able to assist. And the other thing is about the pain as it relates to mammogram. Mammogram, we practice compassionate compression. And there are many persons who are averse to pain, and we always invite the women. We say, if you are one of those persons who are pain averse, you are able to take a Panadol prior to the mammogram, have the mammogram done, and then you are out the door. One of the things I've noted over the years working at the Cancer Society is that we have had these same stories. Women are being afraid of doing the mammogram because of the pain that they feel that they will see.
They are actually told, because some that's one of the things.
Some feel it, Some women are panicking as they reach through the gate. They feel the pain already before they even get to the mammogram. So, when we note so many of them, thereafter they're fine and they're willing to do it again, same time, same place. We say, no, next year.
So you should tell them, these people should probably become ambassadors. Having done a couple of, I've done mammograms myself, that there is the initial, moving towards it, having friends who do it and they come and tell you how hot it is and how they're going to flatten out your breast. So there is that.
They did it.
And they did. No, the point is they did it, but they come back and spread the story. So getting over that hesitancy is important. Yes. But also, Shullian Brown, I think that there are overseas entities that you can also partner with, not just to offer the mammogram. $5,000 can be a lot of money for a regular working class woman who is working maybe $10,000 or so, $15,000 a week or less in many instances. So I think partnering to not just get the mammograms down to $5,000, maybe free mammograms. Jamaica National giving 100 free mammograms. Are there any other opportunities for people to get free mammograms for this month, October, as a part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Yes, there is. We pride ourselves as a cancer society to make mammogram screening available to our women. And as I mentioned before, there have been companies over the years who have always donated to the cause. The National Health Fund has donated 500 free mammograms this year to the Cancer Society.
500?
So the availability is there. We always had the support of Sandals as well. The Sandals group in donating mammograms to us as well. So there are numerous entities. The opportunities are always there, and there are many women who have benefited from the free mammograms that we give. And again, as a Cancer Society, we are reasonable. We are supporting our women. We are encouraging our women to get their mammograms done. So there's no woman who comes to the Cancer Society will not have her experience. And that is how we operate as an entity, and that is one of the reasons why we also fundraise.
So we have 500 mammograms that are being offered for free through the National Health Fund. We have the JN Bank offering 100 free mammograms. The Sandals offering any free mammogram. Because I know one of it, I'm getting some questions here, about what are the opportunities for people who can't actually afford to pay for the mammogram but would want to do them.
And all the questions that you're getting is excellent. Those persons are asking you those questions. They in turn can also donate mammograms to the cause.
The people are asking, do you have any money to pay for the mammograms? That's why they're asking.
Try. Yes. We can inquire of our own people to help our own people.
Right. So I think that's because I think, and I wasn't saying vaccine hesitancy, the mammogram hesitancy is a real thing. And do you guys provide any kind of counseling for the mammogram hesitancy?
We always provide counseling. As again, we here provide compassionate compression. If it takes us, a woman is uncomfortable and she had an appointment, for example, at 11 and she's not comfortable until 2 o'clock, we're waiting on her because she has made that initial step. She has entered the gates to have her mammogram done. There's no way we'll turn her away. We will work with her. We'll actually assist her. If she's asking us for her Panadol to relax herself in order for her to do a mammogram, that is accommodated. We've been doing this for over 65 years. We work with our public. Back in the day when we had our mobile screening program, we traveled across the island of Jamaica and conducted same.
Do you still have a mobile screening program? That would be useful in COVID.
It would be useful. Unfortunately, that equipment went at the end of its product life cycle. So unfortunately, we do not have that program. But what we've done is that we partner with screening agents across the island, and we offer the mammograms to women in various parishes through our network of volunteers and branches and our support groups. And those women are then paid for by the Jamaica Cancer Society.
Okay, and that's an excellent move, of course. How has the COVID-19 impacted the cancer fighting, efforts of the JCS? What has happened in your work because of COVID-19?
Well, to be quite honest, we have been severely hit by the COVID-19 pandemic since it started in 2020. For us, we do rely heavily as an NGO on donations, and our fundraising activities have had to be curtailed as well. We are seeing a decrease in the number of donations that we'd have gotten throughout the year. And of course, we do understand, especially in light of what is happening here now in Jamaica and across the world. So we tend to rely now on doing most of our activities virtually, and invite persons. Members of the public are always free of charge for any activity that we have. And we always have the good sense to have media partners like Bridge FM to share with us and allow us to share with the wider public what it is that we're doing and the help and the support that we need. So in our present circumstance, we are in need of donations. We are in need of corporate support. We are in need of volunteers to assist us with our ongoing work that we do. And we are very much in need of just the overall pull and push of our women, one sister talk to another sister and share the ears of another sister. Get up this morning, get up tomorrow morning. You don't necessarily have to come to the Jamaica Cancer Society. There are numerous entities across the island that offer mammography screening. Visit everybody, call, make an appointment, just get your mammograms done. The cost of a mammogram in comparison to the cost of treatment for cancer is as different as night as is today.
Shullian Brown, you keep on. I think that mantra you're repeating, it sounds good from the perspective at which you work, but I think someone else listening in might say the cost of a mammogram in comparison to the cost of the JPS light bill or the cost of a mammogram, because I think those are some of the kinds of decisions that people on the ground would have to make. So in a lot of ways, for example, there are people we know, and I know you have met many of them, who has a family that is predisposed to cancer, and genetically, how do you, deal with, or what would you say to individuals in that kind of situation? People whose family members have already had cancer, where breast cancer runs in the family, men and women. I'll say men and women. Are those women prioritized in the screening targets that you have?
Well, it would be difficult for us to prioritize the women because the truth of the matter is not many persons, they are aware that they do have a family history, but that doesn't mean that they're going to take a call to action to seek out help and to get a mammogram done. I think what we do annually is we share that information and we encourage them to do genetic testing to find out if they do have the gene BRCA1 and have that checked into, and that person now is treated differently. So instead of them doing their mammogram once per year, they would have to say to us, for example, if their last person in their family was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 30, and that is either their sister or their mother or their aunt, then they would need to start their screening for breast cancer at the age of 25. There's a different approach. Customarily, we say for a screening mammogram, women who start at the age 40, but clearly those with a history, a family history of the disease, should start earlier than the age of 40. So we tend to ask questions along that line. How old was the last person? What age group did they fall into? How many other women in your family have had breast cancer? And then I unfortunately is one of those persons who have a family history of breast cancer plus prostate cancer. So I started my breast cancer screening quite early. So these are the things that, this really and truly a responsibility of the individual now with the information that we impart among other professionals in the field to encourage them for that call to action. And, one of the things that is very important also, that 90% of breast cancer cases are not family genetically involved. These persons don't have a family history of breast cancer. So we can't say because you have a family history are more at risk and the others who don't are less. The issue at hand is everybody is at risk, just that your possibility is far greater.
It's far greater, indeed. And so we see that the St. Anne and the St. Mary branch of the Jamaica Cancer Society is hosting a virtual run walk next month. How is a virtual run walk staged? I'm not sure many of our listeners are, unless they are following those kinds of activities. How do you stage a virtual run walk? Tell us about it.
Well, we have one as well in Kingston, and our branch has their lovely pink event on the 24th of November. We ask persons to sign up online. You're supposed to, at this point in time, I don't know if that is available, but you're supposed to get a bib, an electronic bib, and with that bib you enter your time, etc. So you walk and you run, and you enter your time. And
so you walk and run in your house and in front of the TV on top of your bed?
How you are feeling comfortable. You complete your 5K at your own pace. I know personally if I'm doing a 5K, I've been doing much in the last 2 years due to COVID. You have to understand that it's at your own pace. You get up this morning, you walk for half an hour, you walk for 15 minutes, you enter that time. At the end of it, the only hope is that over a 2-week period at the least, you would end your time and finish your 5K and enter that information. And then those persons, I know for a fact that they will be in for a pleasant surprise.
All right. Well, it sounds interesting. So you can sign up for the virtual run walks, and the information is on the Jamaica Cancer Society's website.
Yes, it is. And one of the things also is that I know for a fact, based on our present situation as a society, in terms of our decreased donations, it is one of the methods through which the branch is hoping to raise funds. And also the healthy lifestyle part of it, part of our mantra is getting people fit and healthy. And we know for a fact that persons who have a healthier lifestyle than the norm and do practice exercise have a healthier and a better chance of cancer survival, or even better going through the treatment than those persons who have not as fit and healthy as the others. And so this is, I know, one of the ways through which she's encouraging. Because, normally over the years, the entire town of Ocherios from 6 a.m. is a show of being. She gets the support of corporate Jamaica, that side, individuals, family members, and she's just trying to recreate that. And it starts off with a fitness program, half an hour of exercise, and the walk starts at 6:30.
Well, Shullian Brown, because somebody sent me a question, and I did kind of say this at the beginning of the discussion. Pink and, all of the focus, usually it seems as if it's only about women. Do men also fall into the discussion when we talk about breast cancer?
Definitely. And they fall in the discussion in 2 ways. One, it is our men that we find, and we're lucky to have that through our support group. We have men who come to the Jamaica Reach to Recovery Breast Cancer Support Group meetings with their wives and their girlfriends. We have men who are the ones who you will see walk in here and ask us for information that they can share with their ladies who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. And it is also our men that, less than 1% of our Jamaican men get diagnosed with breast cancer as well. So it's a rarity among our men.
Yes.
And we do get the calls asking us about information for them. But I can tell you, our Jamaican men are top of tops because these men support their women. They support their women. There will be one or two that might not, but our men in Jamaica are to be praised and recognized for that. They do support their
And we
women.
have to give them kudos. I remember seeing several gentlemen coming out at one of the pink, pre-COVID,
Yes.
and dressed in full pink and
Yes.
even tutu skirt and all these things, because
Yes,
they were really...
for the ICWI pink run.
Yes,
in
remember the
support of Jamaica
ICWI
Restored
pink
Suffrage.
run, yes, and
Yes,
I saw them,
yes.
and it was really something to see how supportive. So we have to give the men their kudos, even while we understand that a small percentage of them might be at risk. More women are affected, and the men, as you were saying, Shullian Brown, do support. How can Jamaicans at home or abroad get involved in the initiatives of the Jamaica Cancer Society for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and beyond?
Well, on our website, jcs.live, there are all sorts of information there as to how persons can make donations.
Yes.
Of course, as a society, that is how we operate. That is how we're able to help others. And one of our primary focus at this time is to be able to offer more free screening to our women. So we're asking for donations for our women and our men for prostate cancer screening and our women for breast cancer and cervical cancer screening. Mm-hmm. Because as you said, there are many persons who are interested and may not be able to afford it. This is a way through which they can assist them. Indeed. The more they help us, the more we're able to help others.
So on the website, the people can actually make payments through the website. There are opportunities for PayPal and credit cards and everything. Repeat the website again, Shullian Brown.
jcs.live.
jcs.live. And that's the Jamaica Cancer Society's website. Are you on Instagram and these wonderful social media platforms?
We are on all those wonderful social media platforms.
Mm-hmm. So tell us what's the
So,
handle?
First, it's easier, I find it, to say to persons, go on Instagram, search for Jamaica Cancer Society 876, and there you have it. Same for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Jamaica Cancer Society 876.
876, yes.
Indeed. And today, I'm sure Lafayne said this to you. That is Alumni Rollout Day. I know she said it to you.
No.
Well, but I like every time I say this, people, this is the nicest part of Fridays, So it's Alumni Rollout Day. So usually anybody who we talk to, or anybody who calls in, we ask you to tell us the school you went to, high school, and usually it's your high school, and to either sing a part of your school song. That no, she's going to laugh. Or said it pleasure. Which school did you go to, Shullian Brown, from the Jamaica Cancer Society?
I attended Immaculate Conception High School. But several decades ago.
You don't have to tell us that part, how did, but I'm saying, that is the disclaimer, laughing. There come the disclaimer, because she's going to tell me she don't.
And I remember nothing else.
I know she coming with that.
I remember nothing else.
Shullian Brown. I know that Immaculate has a motto. You remember the motto?
I don't remember anything else.
The school song?
Ad astra per aspera. I don't remember anything else.
Ad astra per aspera. What? Yeah, see, you remember it. See, I know you must remember something. Immaculate girls will never forgive you. Laughing. She remembered the
I would have done the research. I don't recall.
No, we're not. But we like to put you on the spot. Because when I ask the question, so you laugh because it does bring a smile on your face. Because you remember the good days at Immaculate. Yes, man, you had good days. So big up all the Immaculate girls listening in. Ad astra per aspera. I mean, remember what it mean in Latin. Laughing, tell me what it mean. Because Shullian don't remember. So I know she don't. But it's good that you remember the school pledge. Well, I mean, we encourage everyone to, of course, get involved with the activities for Pinktober, for October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As Shullian Brown, who is the fundraising and public relations officer at the Jamaica Cancer Society, through hardship to the stars. It's like almost like saying labor conquers all, hard work, what you say, through hardship to the stars. Yeah, so you go through work hard and you reach your ultimate so you reach to the ultimate. But we thank you for sharing with us about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and some of the work of the Jamaica Cancer Society, and of course the public education that you continue to do. I mean, all of us who live here in Jamaica and people outside of Jamaica who are interested in what we do here can always have some understanding of what the Jamaica Cancer Society does. We get a lot of information coming out of the Jamaica Cancer Society, and so we want to congratulate the team for the work they continue to do, even with the limited resources. As you said, COVID-19 has impacted a lot on the donations that you normally get, but you continue the work nonetheless, and so you're going to be having virtual activities, and of course reminding people all over, women, that Breast Cancer Awareness Month, 500 free mammograms from the National Health Fund. You can go to the Jamaica Cancer Society Society, the Jamaica JN Bank is offering 100 free mammograms. You can find information about those things and just really go on the Jamaica Cancer Society's website, look around at all the information coming out in the media, and ensure that you do your BSCs, your breast self-examinations. And ladies, please, the mammograms. I did my mammogram last week Monday. No, not last week Monday, no, Monday. I did my mammogram. And people like myself, because I exercise and what have more fiber than fat in my breast, I have to do something called an ultrasound after I do usually, so we can really see. Yes. So we have, but of course we do the mammograms because we want to ensure that we are healthy and keeping ahead of the curve. As you say, Shullian Brown, early detection saves lives.
That's good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing with us here, and all the best with the fundraising activities. It's Pinktober, guys. Thank you so much, Shullian Brown. Take good care. Indeed. Thank you. So we have Richard James with us, focusing on education, of course. Hi, good morning, Richard James. It's 10 minutes after 11 here on the Bridge 99 FM. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Indeed, and good to have you join us. We have gotten, I already introduced you, and we are told that you are a math whiz. And when we hear that kind of thing, because math whizzes are persons who are hard to come by, because we afraid of maths from high school days. We just do the maths because we had to do it, but we didn't get the kind of guidance that made us love maths. So you have a Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics from the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies, and you also are a specialist mathematics teacher. Tell us a little bit about when you realized that you were so adept at mathematics. How did you develop that passion? Tell us about it.
Well, I discovered that from I was in primary school. Yes. Our primary school used to take a lot of initiatives. For example, we were given a specialist mathematics teacher from grade 5. So we have a specialist mathematics teacher in grade 5 and grade 6 in primary school.
Okay.
And that, yes.
Yes, and so you had it, because many persons, we didn't get that at primary school. We had a teacher who does teach everything. So you having a specialist mathematics teacher helped you to unearth the passion for mathematics.
For sure.
Indeed. How long have you been teaching mathematics, and what keeps you motivated? Tell us about that.
I've been teaching mathematics since 1989. And
yes.
I'm always I'm always motivated to present mathematics to students in, high school, in the alternative schools,
yes,
in the earlier years at university, community colleges, and so on. I always insist that students learn mathematics and learn it the correct way.
Yes.
So I saw that as a serious need in society, and, I'm willing and I'm capable of fulfilling that need. So I'm always upbeat about contributing something.
Yes. And because 1989 to now is 32 years. And in a lot of ways, you talk about being exposed very early to a specialist mathematics teacher. And it sounds as if that had an important role in how you gravitated towards not just math as a career path, but also your desire to impart to people. How was the age range at which you start teaching young people mathematics?
Well, very recently I started to do some work with students in primary school. Mm-hmm. But over the years, we used to take them when they finish the first year of high school.
Yes.
But the decision changed for the high school students to take them from 7th grade when a student by the name of Courtney Thompson came here, and the father insisted that she give the examination a try because she's not so good in mathematics. So he wanted her to, be ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. And she did the examination in grade 7.
Yes.
And she passed the CXC exam right here.
Indeed. And so you mean 7th, I know it says 7th grade, I know it as first form.
Yes, that is the same first form.
No, that's, I have to just put in context for some of the old school people, because it says 7th grade is first form. So she did CSEC mathematics at first form?
Yes, she did.
And pass it?
Yes, she did. And we have somebody doing it quite recently again.
Uh-huh. Sounds like, because let me say again, because of the way that we teach mathematics from the primary level coming up, many young people are sort of pushed away from mathematics. It's odd, and so you go to high school and you barely do the math, and then some of the careers that are open, if you are adept and very good at math, become closed off to a lot of young people. So you started your own mathematics institute so you could teach in a more flexible and creative environment. Tell us a little bit about starting your own institute, Richard James. Tell us.
Okay, the whole idea was not really to start an institution. The real thing is that I intended to create mathematics resources that are designed to address the specific needs of students and, of course, of teachers.
Yes.
However, in order to fund that venture, I had to go into something that is going to be profitable enough to fund it. So I ended up in the classroom as a consequence of that.
Oh.
And, I don't think that I've regretted anything, since that time until now.
Yes. And I'm getting a comment here that math needs to be taught in a practical way, how it is used in the everyday. I struggled to maintain a B+ in math. Anything about math I couldn't tell you. But I did business math, which was practical, and I can apply it, like calculating discounts and taxes. So there's something there, because you know that you teach students and also the teachers of mathematics, because the very persons who are getting the instruction that makes them uncomfortable with math are the ones who actually end up going into the teachers' colleges and coming out to teach math. So again, the cycle will repeat itself in a lot of ways. Richard James. So you have been creating resources. You have an institution. Tell us what students can expect when they enroll in your classes. What sets you apart as a math teacher? And how do you help students who genuinely fear the subject? What do you do? Tell us.
Well, generally, I coin my approach in terms of, I'm not speaking about teaching mathematics now, just my communication with the students.
Yes. So
I coin my approach to their particular needs.
Yes.
So we have to dispel this fear. We have to build confidence, So all of that kind of psychological development.
Yes.
I have, some skills at doing that, and students generally feel, even before they even start classes, that they can do it.
I like how many afraid of math. Mercy.
Just no.
Let me tell you. And I went to St. Diego, Richard James, and so I was going to be a medical doctor. So let me tell you, when you're bright. So we had to do all the math type of things. So you have to do chemistry, add maths, physics. Trust me on this sunscreen. All of them something they are bare maths.
Yes, that's
and
right.
all kind of equations. And I remember add maths and the upper equation. I mean, you did it, but it was difficult because you were never wired towards it. And I'm looking at the board behind you and see one whole heap of something on the board behind you. Equation. What kind of equations are those? For our listeners who can't see. What you have on that whiteboard behind you, Richard James?
This is just something, I was just simplifying and, add some practicality to the act of substituting values into an expression for evaluation. And that was done last evening.
That was done last evening. For what level of student? That looks like some university PhD maths.
No.
I'm just
no. No. We have students doing this for the CXC, CSEC, but at the end of the day, when I'm through with my PEP students, they can do it too. Yes.
And so you communicate very well with the students at all levels and help them to sort of reduce the fear that they have about mathematics in as a general part of how we are cultured towards understanding math in Jamaica. So you communicate with them. Do you use practical examples in terms of how you begin the process of educating them about math?
Well, not particularly, but even before you asked the question, I was planning to make mention of the practicality of mathematics and how simple we can make it. Because I always tell my students this: if all of the mathematicians in Jamaica go on one side, and I am on one side, and we have a mathematics competition, I will still win them. They ask me why. I say, no, don't believe that I'm thinking that I'm smarter than them. No, I am able to think in a simple manner. I'm able to simplify a particular circumstance. So that is what I use as an advantage over most individuals and my students the results of my students show every year. You know, my ability to cause things to appear, well, as simple as they really are.
As simple as they really are. So in a lot of ways, you help people to see beyond the kind of, walls that have been built around mathematics. I know lots of people listening, and a lot of us, we kind of just do the maths because they say you had to do the maths, and then you run away from it. And this is why we probably have less people going into careers that require a strong mathematics background. Those career actuarial sciences. I always have been very interested and intrigued by those kinds of sciences.
Sorry about that. Yes. Okay, sorry about that. As a matter of fact, recently 2 of my students got first class in actuarial science. I know that is not something that students do every second.
That is because actuarial science is a very technical, math-based kind of area. So for them to get first class honors in actuarial sciences, they must have had an extremely excellent grounding in mathematics to carry them through to the university level and get a first class honors. So again, you would have impacted on them significantly, Richard James. So we are told that you have written a lot of mathematics books and booklets as instructional guides for your students. Tell us about your booklets and tell us where we can find them as well.
Okay. Well, at the moment, my books are available just from Richard James Mathematics Resources. We don't have them going out into the public now at the moment.
So How many have you written?
Well, I've written 7 instructional manuals. They simplify mathematics. They are practical. And I have a YouTube channel that supports the mathematics resources that I have. So maybe you read something in one of those books and it's not so practical to you, then you could just watch that audiovisual, the accompanying audiovisual on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and that will clarify it to some great extent.
So yes. It sounds as if you are so you have built out a set of resources. So you are the you're the person, the human interaction in the middle there, but you have a YouTube channel that you have. So you have instructional videos on the YouTube channel, and they work in concert with the booklets that you have developed. Is that how it works?
Yes, they do that.
So is this only for your students or for someone listening on who is struggling with mathematics at the CSEC level and they want to get help from the resources that you have created? How does that work?
Okay, well, the students can purchase them from me. As a matter of fact, we had to sell mathematics resources to Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Turks and Caicos, Cayman Islands, United States, Canada. We don't like have a big wholesale shipping going all the time, but sometimes we have those requests. And the students, especially in the pandemic lockdown, all over Jamaica, they log onto my YouTube channel also, and that made life very easy for them.
Oh, you must be a rich man. Anyway, because it sounds as if, Richard James, it sounds as if you have a product that is very much in demand, and as long as you are able to meet that demand with the kind of supply that would be necessary, you should be able to, make some kind of profit from it. I see that you have also been offering free classes via YouTube. So you have, apart from the instructional videos that accompany the booklets that you have written, the mathematical booklets, Richard James, you have been offering free maths classes via the internet during the pandemic. And tell us a little bit about those there via YouTube. How does that work?
Okay, for that one, I have discontinued that one.
But tell us about what did you do? Yes.
Well, during the first lockdown of the pandemic, examination was just around the corner.
Yes.
So I took to YouTube and I offered that mathematics class free of cost. As a matter of fact, a company by the name of New Fortress Energy. That company paid the internet fee for the entire time that I was doing it for free. Yeah, so that was a very good thing, and we got a lot of comments and commendations. Thank you, Richard James, coming from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yes, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're from Barbados, from Trinidad, and one of those Dutch Caribbean country. I don't remember the name of that one.
But, you have Curacao, you have Curacao, you have Saint Martin, the Dutch side.
That one.
The Dutch
That's
side.
one, St. Martin.
Yeah, the Dutch side.
Yeah,
Because you have
St.
the
Martin.
French and the Dutch side. But I'm getting comments here about the maths, that most people can't even help their kids with maths homework, and many of them are professionals. Learning functional math for things like reading your light bill and calculating water consumption and things like that. This is why JPs and others can overcharge you. I'm reading, and somebody said, I tried reading NWC bogus water consumption, and I'm like, no. So in a lot of ways, even when you get the JPS bill in, and them have to come up a little something. The bill is very complex. You have a little something and tell you how much kilowatt hour. You have a little chart to go up and tell you how much you're supposed to did use and the rate and how much the US. I want open something going on, and they look at like, I'm going to just pay it. It's difficult for you to calculate your consumption based on all the things and work it out and to come down to what they actually have as what you ought to pay by a due date. So is it that if we got a good grounding in math, it wouldn't be so technically difficult, Richard James? This is how it works, because it's very difficult for a lot of us to just wade through some of the regular practical situations where we have to add and subtract and multiply and divide.
Well, I'm not so sure, because the bill that you get, sometimes I think that maybe an effort is made to cause it to be somewhat complex. Yeah. But at the same time, yes, if you have a good foundation in mathematics, you will be able to figure out what is there to some great extent.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can even look at the trends at your consumption, and if you know what you are always doing inside of your house in terms of your consumption, then you might be able to see that there's no way just 15% on the US dollar could cause the bill to be so high. Because the 15% on the US dollar has resulted to your bill doubling,
yes,
100% or maybe 150%. Some of that kind of practicality, that you'll be able to figure out quite easily. With your mathematics, yes.
Indeed. And so, because I hear you talking about the different countries that people connect with you. And remember, Jamaicans and Jamaicans at home and abroad listening in, that CSEC, for example, is a Caribbean examination. So what Richard James is offering is a Caribbean product in a lot of ways. It's not just for the children here in Jamaica. So once he goes into the internet and uses YouTube and other facilities, then he's offering the services to a wider audience, because they are able to connect with him and to access it for the regional examinations that he prepares many students for. So why is it important to you, Richard James, that Jamaicans are offered the best mathematics education? Why is it for you?
Well, for me, it's a continuation of what we know over the years. Because we attended university when we didn't have this holy park, we didn't even have cell phone. So the students from the wider Caribbean had to come to Jamaica.
Yes.
And, or they would go together at St. Augustine. Right. And when they attend school and we're in class together, it's obvious to us and to everyone else that Jamaican students had a great advantage over the entire Caribbean when it comes to mathematical science.
Yes.
And so being inside there in the classroom, as a person from Cornwall College, we used to have a lot of students from all over the Caribbean and even all over Jamaica gravitating to us, to study with us, to be in class next to us when we attended the university, because of how, advanced we were with our mathematics.
I always say us, you mean yourself?
Not just me.
Jamaicans.
Yes, Jamaicans.
Yes.
For example, we had somebody that you might ring a bell with. Nigel Clark had a sister who used to be in my mathematics and physics class at the university. She was extremely brilliant. Her brilliance exceeded most of what we would expect for the students in the Caribbean. So the Caribbean students generally, would be close to us, in order that we would re-explain and we could practice together and so on. They could benefit from the kind of instruction that we get. And I'm almost sure that we are still ahead of them, because when I interview individuals from Trinidad and even Barbados, I get the impression that they do not come to the no, it's not the impression. The students actually say it, that when we come to the board and we explain a concept from the very foundation all the way down to the end.
Yes.
They don't get that kind of presentation in their country. They tell us.
Yes, but but I'm getting all these comments on WhatsApp. They said that you said that people can't even. You said you make it sound easy because you're the mathematician, but people can't even work out the exchange rate sometimes for themselves. So again, in terms of the practical application of mathematics, Richard James, the work that you are doing with your Mathematics Institute and the resources that you have created, produced, and continue to create and produce are very important in terms of helping Jamaicans to get a better grounding in maths, but also to get over the mathematics hesitancy and fear. I mean, like my entire generation, we just kind of work with it. Until Lafayette is patting our chest, me to a lot of people in Jamaica, because the teaching of mathematics, we didn't have that kind of practicality, and you were exposed to a mathematics specialist, a specialist teacher in mathematics. We didn't have that kind of exposure, so it limited and or totally erased the way that we could actually accede to a better grasp of mathematics, get a better understanding of it, and then be able to enter careers where mathematics was critical and there as a foundation. So again, somebody with a BSc in maths or going off into one of those mathematics-based areas, actuarial sciences and all of that, something that is important. I remember having a desire, Richard James, having read Wolper, Karl Marx and so early. I did O-level econ. And I was so caught up with the social side of it, I wanted to do econ. I did A-level econ. I wanted to go and do econ at UA. So when we get the program outline, I say calculus this and calculus that, I just said, no, star. I swear. I'm not, no, I'm not doing that. No. Because econ has a significantly large side of it at that level, which is very math-based. And yes, no. And so, again, there is that hesitancy. A lot of, and especially women, tend to have that around maths. It's a subject that, pushes you away from it. So I went and did other things that I could deal with the social side of things and, that part of understanding what was going on in the society, and left the maths to other people. And they're saying kudos to Richard James. The way we need to balance maths worldwide. But of course, so Jamaicans at home and abroad, if people abroad want to connect with you, not just for your YouTube resources, Richard James, but for your classes, how can they connect with you? Do you offer classes to people outside of Jamaica?
And yes, for a long while I've been offering classes to students outside of Jamaica. The United States, quite a few of the states, Connecticut, New York, Texas, and also from Canada, the wider Caribbean. We have students from Cayman Islands at the moment also, and I've had students from Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. So we have students connecting with us from those countries, and they are benefiting quite a bit from the instruction that I'm giving to them.
How do they get it? So how do other people who are listening in? Because math teachers are high in demand. Everybody wants the best math teacher for the kids. How do people get access, to access the resources that you have? How do they get to be a student in your class from somewhere outside of Jamaica or somewhere outside of Montego-Bay?
They usually the ones that do, they usually contact us, by telephone, and we send the link to them. We use WhatsApp as a means of communication, and so they have those numbers, and if you wish, you can.
Yes, man. And
so may give them to you.
You have what you're saying is that you probably have Zoom classes also. How do the classes work?
No, we have them by Google Meet.
Google Meet, yes.
Yes, we have them by Google Meet.
Google Meet. So tell us, how do people get in touch with you? If I know people listening on are interested in people with children, so tell us.
Okay, I could give you the telephone numbers.
Yes.
876, of course, is our Jamaica area code. So 876, one of the numbers 351 9689.
Yes.
The other is 8.
Yes.
The other one is 892 5983. And the other one is 318 8848.
So you're on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. What is the YouTube channel called?
Richard James Mathematics Resources.
Richard James Mathematics Resources. That's a YouTube channel. And are you on social media?
Yes, I'm also on Facebook. I've done quite a bit on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. But I've not been doing, a lot of stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is for the articulate minority. Facebook and Instagram is where you get the majority of people. And the statistics show that, laughing. I'm not being facetious. You're laughing. So what is your... No, it's true, man. It's true. You go and look at the figures. You're a figures man. Facebook and Instagram is where you get the numbers. So tell us, Richard James, what is your Instagram? What are the handles that you use on Instagram and Facebook?
Well, Facebook is the same, Richard James Mathematics Resources.
Yes.
And on Instagram is Richard James Mathematics.
Richard James Mathematics. Okay, and so because the way math is taught targets primarily a small minority who will actually pursue a career in math. That's a comment coming in as well, that the way math is taught actually targets a small minority who will actually pursue a career in math and maybe a career in mathematics fully, or maybe a math-related career. So again, maybe the way you're working, Richard James, you might end up seeing far more persons coming out and getting into careers that are math-based careers. So
yes, that is my intention. Because I can see right now, as a matter of fact, when you look at a traditional high school and when you go there, you see the students who are doing CAPE Unit 2. You just see five or 8.
Yes.
You hardly see as many as 10.
And usually most of them are, isn't it, that is also a gender balance? Isn't it more male than female? Usually, how does it work? Do more men than women? Or is it even?
But at that level, there's a balance with male and female. And do not forget that you will have more school spaces available for females. So, for example, I will go to Hampton High and I will go to Westwood. And Hampton and Westwood would have the same number of students doing. And then you'll have Monroe College having the same number as Hampton and the same number as Monroe, but at the same as Westwood. But at the same time, you'll realize that when you put together that you're going to have the sixth form at Hilders, Westwood, and Hampton, which are 3 schools, then you see a school like Monroe College coming in and Cornwall College coming in.
Yes.
When you look at the entire overall thing, the net effect of it is that you'll have more females doing CAPE mathematics than males.
Yes, that is
so although
true.
In their particular school, the number is pretty much the same, but because there are more students in these schools that are catered for female students, there are more schools like that, then you'll find that they will outnumber us to a great degree.
So that net effect comes out at the end and has that overall impact. But someone sent me a comment, even the sciences require math. Yes, we know the sciences require math. People doing computer sciences, for example, have to have a strong math background. There are a lot of careers that require a strong math background, Richard James. And so someone sent me a message, they're going to check out your check out your site. Boys will do math because the toys they get when they are young is about building. You know how inventive, subconsciously math oriented. So again, because boys, when I was in school, which was long ago in the past, most of the boys in the class seemed to do far better at math. And again, a lot of our math teachers were male. There was all of this correlation. So
in those days, it was like that.
In those days, when we were younger. Yes. But of course, Richard James and Associates. What's it? Richard James and Associates? No, Richard James Mathematics Resources. I don't know one thing, and Associates, Mathematics Resources. One of the things, we know you went to Cornwall College, called Lafayette. Tell us in your bio that you went to Cornwall College. Today is something we call Alumni Rollout Day here on One Jamaica. So you're going to have to tell us CC, Cornwall College, no, Clannan College, I'm calling it CC. Cornwall College, I know you have a school motto or a song. You remember your school song?
Yes, I remember my school song.
So you're going to sing it for us?
It's 5 verses.
So sing a part. Sing a part.
And although I play 8 musical instruments, I'm not such a vocalist.
see the maths people also do very well in musical instruments. We forget that type, it leads into, it leads into it, So sing a piece of it for us. We'll forgive you if it don't sound so vocal, but Lafayette is waiting. We're waiting. Go ahead. Yes.
First of all, our motto is learn or leave. Learn or leave.
Learn or leave.
Yes. For the school song,
you have to hold the phone up to your ears. We're not hearing you without the phone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I've already. Come, ready for the song?
Go ahead, ready.
Come, let us praise our God above, sing of His blessings and His love. He gives wisdom, strength, and light. He makes life good, great, and bright. Teach us, our Father, how to live. God, our vision, thou dost give. Changing darkness into light. Converting boys to men of might.
Yes!
Here on the hills beside the sea. Head, heart, and hands we pledge to thee. That loved and honored in our land, Cornwall College still may stand. So while to school we give these hours, help us to learn and test our powers. Give thy great gift from above, courage, wisdom, grace, and love. Lord, one last verse. It's a long song, but it's finishing now. Lord, let our alma mater be bright with the Spirit sent from thee. And when sin tempts us from right, shed our path thy holy light.
No, Richard, no, let me tell you. I have been sitting in this chair. Nobody has been able to sing their entire school song from start to finish. Somebody said, put it in the Zoom bashment. No, because the whole studio around there breaking up. Because let me tell you, it's the maths, it's the maths, the brain. See, the maths keep the brain work. No, it's nobody. They always tell you they don't remember. They barely remember part of it. But you come and say, well, Lafayette young, We're talking about people back there. So I'm saying, everybody come and they shy away. Lafayette, I think, was the only one who sang out our old school song. But so see, Cornwall College people must feel Cornwall College. You see, learn or leave, See, he learned. So I tell you,
yes, they had to learn,
You had to learn. And it's a really great, big up all the Cornwall College, is old boys, that's what they call them, old boys, and the current boys who are there, and of course the entire administrative and teaching faculty, because let me tell Richard James, as the mathematics whiz, see, the maths keeps the brain, all the brain cells churning. So you don't teach adults? Come for some.
Yes, we teach adults. We're always having a toss up with me and the adults and all of that, but I'm always catering for them. Let me just a short one. Yeah. I was in Savanna, selling mathematics books, and a policeman came there and said, I want to pass mathematics. So when we finished with him, I'm sure that he passed already.
Well,
but eventually now he came to me for classes and he also passed the examination.
And we have to congratulate the police officer. Richard James, we're at the end of the discussion. Thank you so much for sharing with us on the Bridge 99 FM. And of course, all the best with the work that you continue to do on behalf of not just the people and children of Jamaica, but you're working with people in the Caribbean and in the diaspora. And of course, we encourage you to continue sharing your skill and your knowledge around mathematics as a mathematics specialist from St. James. Richard James Mathematics Resources. Do have a good afternoon, and thank you so much for sharing with us.